Good morning, everybody. Appreciate you being here. Kind of just wrapping up last week. Proud of our guys going on the road. Facing some adversity with a variety of different factors. Didn't get off to a great start. You had a turnover early. Wasn't able to convert on a fourth down in the red zone. Gave up a couple of big plays. Things that uncharacteristic of our team. But I was so proud of the response and the way that our guys battled throughout. I mean, it was it was a great display of identity. The character of our team. I thought the sideline was outstanding. The way our guys battled. One of the plays that just stood out there early in the contest was, Fentrell Cypress, just the effort play. It's one of the things we talked about, and we talked a little bit about it after the game. But always challenge our team is, when is effort going to be the deciding factor, in a play? And, yes, there was a mistake on the play, and, we guys were maybe not in position of, where we wanted to be, but, to see, just to see that effort and everything he had, with less than a yard to go and be able to force a fumble, ball went in the end zone, dead ball, touchback. I mean, it was a great play, for just who we want to be, in an uncomfortable situation. But I thought our guys, really rallied, did a good job second and third quarter. Now obviously left some things out there in the fourth, but I thought our defense was great. Being able to hold them to 7 points, nothing in the second half. I just was pleased with our team, and we had some guys that had to step up. Ja'Kai Douglas going over 100 yards. You look at the production of our tight end room. I thought all three of those guys that were able to have catches. Had big plays and big moments, whether it's third down conversions. Obviously a touchdown with Mark Houston. Some of the things we were able to do with him in the screen game. Guys did a wonderful job there. It was with Johnny and Keon and having it was 4 to 5 guys that were limited or out at receiver. I mean, it was a challenge, but you saw everybody really kind of take hold of that. I think Pitt did a good job of trying to condense things with the box. It's kind of naturally how they play, but I think that was one of the things they really tightened down. Had some good pressures that they were able to create some negatives on our ends, and there's obviously some things we have to clean up. But I was really pleased to see us break the long run. I think we threw for 360 yards, which is just a testament to Jordan, our receivers, everybody involved. Running backs had a couple big catches, of how we were able to distribute the ball to a variety of different people. And then as the game went on, to be able to hit the big run with Trey Benson was huge for us, and just proud of our guys. I thought Alex did a great job, and when we had to punt and being able to flip the field, I think he averaged 45 yards per punt. So the great job there in special teams. Ryan bounced back, did a nice job there, and just really pleased with all the things that showed up throughout of our response as a team. And to be able to clinch a spot in the ACC championship was big. It was something that we knew going into it, if we handled our business, that would be the result, and we were able to get that done. So we know we'll get one more game here at the end of the regular season to compete for a championship, and that's something that's big for our program. It's something that we always aspire to do, but ultimately there's a lot of steps a lot of steps we have to take between now and then to be in the best position for when we get there. And what better week than this week? I mean, this is what college football is all about. One of the greatest games that this country has. I mean, this is a huge contest for our football team, and everything we've done throughout the course of the year to prepare you for this moment, for this week, for what we're going to go do and what we want to accomplish. And so there's a lot of excitement around our program. Your guys had a great work day yesterday. You feel the energy, you feel the edge. This is one of those that we talk about at the beginning of spring practice. Or January workouts at the beginning of fall camp. This is a critical game for our program, for our university, and one that our guys will remember for the rest of their lives. And I'm honored for the opportunity to be a part of it, and excited about the week that's ahead, and just all things that that come around with this game, and it's great to be back at home with it. And I do want to take this just a quick minute to thank all the fans that showed up in Pittsburgh last week. I mean, to go back-to-back weeks on the road and to see just the overwhelming support of our fan base that travels, that shows up. I mean, it was an incredible reception that we had there, just from all of our Florida State faithful, and you definitely appreciate our fans, and can't wait to kick it off on Saturday. Another sold out game here at Doak Campbell Stadium, and it's going to be a special atmosphere.
We've all written and talked a lot about how different your roster is compared to a couple years ago in terms of the talent. But is that a game this past Saturday that, from a program standpoint, would have been much tougher to win 2 years ago or 3 years ago, from just being the resilience and that kind of?
Yeah, I mean, it's you see in the way our guys responded. You see the confidence they have, and that's where it's like, even on the sideline when things didn't go well early, there wasn't a sense of panic. It wasn't something that, and you give credit to the team. I mean, we knew we were going to get Pitt's best shot, and a couple of weeks prior, they had an undefeated team, at their place, that they pulled a big upset. And you look at, that's a tough place to play for top-ranked opponents. I mean, I think, it's 4 of the last 5, top-ranked teams that have went in there have had disappointing results for the team that went and played there. And so we knew we were going to get their best shot. Coming off of a bad game that they had, it was. It was nothing shocking about that. But what I loved is just the confidence of our guys, even when it wasn't going well early, just a belief in how we would respond, what the outcome would eventually be. But it was still about the work, still about the mentality. And so I think we've grown up a lot as a program in regards to that. I love. It was a hard week of practice, and you guys, it was, we had to move certain guys' positions. Obviously, a lot of different, personnel groupings and things that we were trying to implement. But seeing the depth that we have, and you've seen the guys that. Ja'Kai, we talked about him at the end of the Wake Forest game, kind of getting that spark, and then seeing him take that to a whole new level this last week. Even Darren had a big third down, conversion, catch early, missed some opportunities later, just with some of the vertical passing game. But I was still watching those guys go in there and compete. Their tight ends, continuing to make such a big impact. With the adversity of personnel but not being available, and great players. I mean, we're talking about 2 guys that are elite receivers in the country and huge playmakers for this team. And with them not being available, seeing other guys rise up, and I think for Jordan to go out there and threw for 360 yards, that's pretty dang impressive, when you have 2 of the best receivers in the country not available. And so, but it just speaks to the quality of our personnel, and it speaks to I think just the whole way of that game played out, just the mindset, the character, the confidence that this team has, that, it's a 60-minute game, and you go give everything you have, and it's not always going to go exactly how you want, but your response will showcase that identity.
Well, it obviously is very impressive to throw for 360 when you don't have those guys. It's not ideal to go to the rest of the season without 2 really good wide receivers. And I feel like Ja'Kai and Darian were probably the only fully healthy guys. Not ideal. I guess looking forward, do you see that position getting healthier and being in better shape come Saturday? No,
I do. And what that means, we'll see. As we go through the week, we'll get a great perspective of where guys are. But it was. I mean, Kentron, he battled last week. I mean, Deuce obviously didn't play. So Rodney took over some of the things in the kickoff return game. I mean, it was a real challenge last week, and just seeing. But there's another guy I wanted to mention is Vendravius Jacobs. I mean, to be able to come in and. Hadn't played a whole lot this season, but his number got called and he was ready, and just continued growth from another true freshman that's able to make an impact for us. And but yes, I do see us being a much better spot. Coming out at last night's practice, we had a lot more participation in it. Guys being able to get out there and work. So we'll see where the week goes.
Come to your left, Preston. At the end of the game, ESPN broadcast showed Jordan pointing to his knee, and you guys brought in Tatum. Was that just injury related, or was that just the plan with the lead at that point, and just get Tate some meaningful snaps in a close-ish game?
I think you're showing me a grass stain that he had. No, it was. He's fine. He'll be good.
Maybe an obvious question. This is the specifics of this rivalry. Why is it such a big game? Why does it matter so much?
Oh, I mean, it's everything from the past, the tradition, the legacy, and just an incredible matchup. I mean, you got two in-state schools that, there's been a lot of success within these teams and these programs, over the years, and just some of the greatest games. And our players know them, they know us. It's a heated one, and it's what college football is all about. And I think in today's age, where you see a lot of rivalries that are now being split, and this is what makes it special. And like I said, I'm just grateful for the opportunity to be a part of it. And I've got a chance to coach in two of these, and it is. You feel it from pregame, obviously the week of practice and all those things, but from the minute you step on that field, I mean, there is a different edge, and it is like there's nothing I can just say that would really give justice to that, to what that experience is. But I'm excited about it.
Coach, on the two trick plays, how come you decided to call it in that moment, and what goes into just calling a trick play? Something that goes going on during the week, or something that just happens right in the moment?
Oh, I mean, I thought it would work. All right, and one of them really pretty good, and actually there's I think three that we called, but then one that really didn't. And so it's just those things that you try to calculate, where you think you're going to get a competitive advantage. Obviously, some things with misdirection, some things with alignments. Obviously, all those things go into planning. But when it works, it looks really good. When it doesn't, obviously there's you get to continue to reflect on why not. What could you have done better? Was it the right situation? One of them I did not like. I mean, coming out of the game, it wasn't a good time to call the play. And that's where, for me, I mean, I got to be better. And it's like, we all take ownership in what we do and how we do it and why we do it. And, in the moment, you have a thought, you have an idea, something that you've seen, but, you continue to grow through each of those experiences. And, it's just like I tell our players, we're all working through to try to be best. And, there was a few calls that I like to have back. And a few of them I really liked how they worked out.
How valuable a weapon is Kalen DeLoach as a blitzer? I mean, I don't think blitz is that much relative to, pass rush reps that guys like Jerry Verse and Patrick Payton get, and yet he leads the team in sacks, 9 games into the year. No,
I think Kalen he's an explosive player, and I think he's having an incredible year. His production. In all phases of what we do defensively, he's talented in coverage. He does a really good job. Whether it's playing to run, playing to pass. Just from his core linebacker position. But then, he is a dynamic blitzer, and he's one that his speed allows him to make up a lot of space. And even in the fact he had to work through some different things to get there. But I think it is a tribute to the guys that are also around him, that being able to force a contain, to be able to allow him to get have the time to be able to get home, and then obviously he knows what to do when he gets there. So I think he's been very productive for us. I'm excited about the growth that he's had, and I think he's a special player for us.
Miami's had some kind of strange losses in games where maybe they controlled the game for parts of it and still came up short. But when you look at them on film, how talented does that team look?
It's a talented team. It's each year we've played them, they've been a talented team, and probably always will be a talented team. But it is it's one of the things that makes this rivalry great, because you're going to see a lot of talent on the field. It comes down to execution, physicality, response. toughness, all things that, and it's going to come down to a couple plays. I mean, last year's game that came down to a handful of plays. And I tell our team that all the time. A handful of plays that can go make it really, really good on ours, or it can make it really, really bad, or really close. And so it's just you got to be prepared on each one, thinking and knowing that that's the most important play, and it's the consistency in that execution. But this is a talented team we're playing, and from you look at the matchup and how it's all going to play. I mean, I'm excited to be a part of it because it's going to come down to a lot of one-on-ones. Defensively, they're doing an outstanding job this year. I mean, it's statistically one of the best defenses in the country that they're going to attack and show you a multitude of fronts. I mean, you're going to get Bear, you're going to get 3 down, you're going to some of their 4 down fronts and just some movements and the blitzes. I think they've done a nice job in that regard. I mean, offensively, very talented group. I mean, their quarterback I saw him, a couple of years ago. He's a player that, the freshman of the year in the conference. And so you see the talent that he has. I mean, he's been projected as, a top draft pick for years, the last few years. So he has ability and he has talent. And you look at the receiving core and who they have and what they do. I think that's a position that's grown for them over the last few years. And they've got some guys that, have made some big plays. Obviously, they've got a stable of running backs that, really, you can do so many things, whether it's, hand it off to them, catching the ball in the backfield. You look at the difference in their offensive line. I mean, they're a big group. I mean, they've done a good job of adding size, some ability, some transfers that have come in that have helped them, and just the experience. And so, it's going to be a heck of a matchup, and we're looking forward to it, and excited about the week of work building up to it.
Last year, you guys ran wild on Miami. This year, I think only UNC really has had success against them in a ground game. What have they done to improve in that department? I mean, they're going to put numbers in the box. I mean, that's and the variation of things that they do. With like I said, a multitude of fronts, blitzes. The way they're going to be aggressive, they're going to attack. They've done a good job of tackling in space. I mean, it's one of the they're one of the fewest missed tackle teams in the country. That was one thing that I think last year that team struggled with, and it was you see the improvement there. And like I said, they're going to get guys to the box. They're always going to be right in their number count in what they're trying to do, and I think they've done a good job in that regards.
Conrad Hussey had an interception. Ashton Barker had a sack. That secondary, young players, but they're still stepping up. What kind of growth have you seen from as the season, especially in that tough road environment you mentioned? Yeah,
Conrad's a guy that really proud of the strides he's taking. I mean, he's still young. He's still a true freshman. He's still learning a lot of things, and there were some mistakes that were made in the game that that are critical in the moment. But you see the playmaking ability. You see, obviously, big interception. Being a part of helping force the fumble. I mean, you just feel his explosiveness, and he's got a great future in front of him. And as he continues to grow in that consistency, I think you're just going to. There's still a lot of season left to play, and I think you're going to see more and more of him because he's a very impactful player, and I love his. As he's growing, you can see just him mature with each game, with each practice, with each meeting, everything that he's doing. So I'm really proud of the strides that we're seeing there, and we've got a lot of freshmen. Blake Nicholson is him, Justin Cryer, like those, Donnie. You watch our kickoff cover team. We got 3 true freshmen that were there at the core of our kickoff cover last week, and I pointed it out to our team yesterday. And those guys are all going to be real players. Like it was exciting to see just their speed, the physicality, and the way that they're playing. It's a really good group, and so seeing those guys come along and continue to build an impact for this team is definitely something to be excited about for years to come too.
Coach, have you ever clinched a division title? And this isn't a division title, but a berth in a championship game at Memphis this early? And how much kind of advanced scouting can you do when you don't necessarily know who you're going to play?
I don't recall. We did. I had 3 of them, so I can't. I know the last 2 are not. They went down to the very end. I can't remember our second year, how early it was. But, for us, all of our focus is right now. I talked about it after the game, congratulated the team once again, last night, but, we'll see that game in 3 weeks, right? And take nothing away from that. It's huge for our program. Huge. And, that's what we set out. But this is about right now. And if we don't do the steps necessary this week, this game, go get better as a football team, continuing to grow. I'll say the same thing next week, and then the same thing the following week, right? If we don't do that, then we will not be in position to go be what we're capable of when we get to play for that championship. It is the process of today and going to get better, continuing to push, continuing to learn from the mistakes we made, continuing to learn from success we've had. Remain humble in your work and just go get better. And so that's what I'm excited about. Obviously we will, when there's an opponent, we will have enough time and an opportunity to be well prepared. But all things for this week.
I know Pitt plays an aggressive defense anyway. They had some games where they had 50 yards and tackles for loss. But did they play differently? Would they have played the same way if 4 and 14 are out there? I guess you don't know, but did they look the same defensively as the game wore on as the team you saw on film, I guess? No,
it was they're like you mentioned, that is their style where I would say they were maximum aggression, right? Now, that's not saying they haven't done that in other games and have not, they've done that. That's a team that, they want to be able to stop the run, and I think they've led our conference the last 4 years in rush defense. There's a way that they play, and they do a good job with that. I think there was part of it to test our receivers, test the matchups and what that would look like, so I also think there was a reason why Trey Benson had a long touchdown at the end of the game. It was something we had to kind of stick through and be strategic. We had more negative plays than it might have been the most we've had all year. Credit to them for most of them, and then things that we have to be better at in some of them, and just. But yeah, it was definitely all a part of the matchup, and I was pleased with our guys with how we showed up and able to respond to that. But it was a part of the challenge.
We have time for a couple more. We'll come back to Jordan on your left. Coach, it seemed like the last few weeks Jordan has made a lot of checks at the line of scrimmage. How much autonomy does he have at the line, and how often does he check during the course of a game?
Each week. We'll have a game plan for certain things that we see. There was a, last week probably wasn't as much as some weeks, but there were a few, and so it's good having experienced quarterback that sees things really well. Jordan has been great for us throughout this year and really throughout his career, just in what he sees and helping get us into the best position. That's all kind of part of it, and so it really depends on the week.
Last one, we'll go back to Ira.
I did want to follow up on Jordan. These last couple of weeks, just how he's had to use so many different weapons and really attack defenses in maybe different ways than when you guys were earlier in the year. Like how have you seen him kind of embrace these opportunities?
Yeah, I think he showed himself as one of the best players in all of football. He's a great football player, and he is, when you don't have, and I believe that we have really, really good personnel in our depth, really good personnel in different, positions, the variety and versatility within an offense to help those guys, get put in position to go showcase all they can do. But when you have Jordan, just see, and there were some things early that you could get a sense that maybe wasn't as clean for whatever reason, whether it's a person, a place, something, there's a little difference in timing. It's hard to get to that point, but I think he does he does a remarkable job, and he really helped take over, in that game. And there's 4 or 5 throws in that game that are as good as you'll ever see. Like you couldn't go out there and place a ball any better than what it needed to be in the moment. And there's a few plays that it was you'd like to have it just a little bit better with a variety of different personnel. But that's what makes him. He's so good at making the 10 other guys out there on the field around him better. And, we've got really good players around him, so it's a good combination. But, if anybody comes into, wanting to know more about our quarterback, you go and watch these last 2 weeks, and you see what he is, and that's why he's being mentioned as, for the greatest award that you can have in college football, and deservedly so.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you, Coach.
Have a good day.
You have a great day. I appreciate that.